Good morning, children. How are you? I hope you are all doing well. Again, today we start a new lesson, the new zeal. Today's lesson is motion. So, we are going to discuss the first part of the lesson, motion. In this chapter, we'll learn about motion, its definition, displacement and distance, speed and velocity, average speed and average velocity, uniform and non-uniform motion, uniform circular motion, acceleration, equations of uniform accelerated motion. Coming to the introduction of this lesson. Coming to this slide, we see so many examples related to motion. Here, the motion of planets around the sun, the motion of our earth around the sun, and the revolution and rotation of the earth causes many seasonal changes as well as day and night. This is one of the example related to sunrise or sunset. Now here the person who is running, he is also in motion. Here the persons who are moving along the road, they are also in motion. Here the vehicle or the transport which is moving in the water. Here if you see so many vehicles which are moving on the roads. Here the train which is moving on the track, and the raindrops during raining. This all comes under the examples of motion. Here in this example, airplane is flying in the sky. This is also an example of motion. Kite flying in the sky. One more example. Here the drone which is moving. This is also another example of motion. Flying of birds, the windmill, and the waves also are in motion. These are all examples of motion, what we see in day-to-day life. Now, coming to what is relative. Does every statement has a meaning? So when you see this example, this water is triangular. It is not making any sense. If you go to the next example, this water is pure. So here, this water is pure is giving a sense. Whereas in this example, this water is triangular. It is not giving any sense. So a statement has a meaning only when there is a relation between words. In this picture, we see one tree, one house on one side of the road. Here, two persons, here A and B. For B person, when we ask a question, which side the tree and house are there, the B person give his answer that tree and house are in left side for him. When you ask a person A, he will give the answer, the house and the tree are on the right side. So here for for the person A, they are on the right side. For the person B, they are on the left side. So here to whom what it appears, they give the answer where, for right and left. Imagine you are in India, your friend is in America. So you belongs to the city Delhi and your friend belongs to the city New York. When you are calling him in the morning and asking him what is the time there, he will reply the answer it is a night time. For you it is a morning. So here day and night are relative to each other. Here you have to observe the picture. Here imagine a globe of our earth. So here the positions of different persons, namely A, B, C, D, A, B, C, and D. So now coming to the point of A and B. For A, the person B will be down to him. For the person B, A will be down to him. Next, when you come to the C person, the person D is down to him, whereas for the person D, C is down to him. Here, depending upon the positions of all the four persons, up and down will vary. Here, until and unless we discuss where the person, either the person belongs to A position or a C position or a B or a D, then only we can decide whether he is in up or down. So up and down are here relative to each other. Until now we discussed English sentence is a meaningful sentence. Left and right is day or night. Up and down, that is a relative. Now we have to discuss whether motion is relative or not. Here we have to discuss an idea of motion. Before getting into the definition of motion, let us discuss a hypothetical activity. You have to observe the picture here. What is here? A conversation between Somesh and Srinu. You are observing here a tree. One side of the road it is laid, and the two persons, namely Somesh and Srinu, and you are seeing the car, it is advancing in one direction. That direction is mentioned as east. Now coming to the discussion or the conversation between Somesh and Srinu. So here Srinu is asking what is the state of motion of the tree. Now Somesh gives the answer as it is at rest. Now again Srinu is asking what is the state of motion of a car. Again Somesh will give the answer it is moving due east, because already it is mentioned here the car is advancing in east direction. Now what is the state of the, now Srinus again is asking what is the state of motion of a driver and the passenger in the car. Now Somesh is telling the answer as they are moving along with the car. Then Srinu, how do you decide the car, the passenger and the driver are moving? Then Somesh will give us the answer with respect to us. The position of the car, the passenger, and the driver are changing with time. So they are the person who is there in the car, driver with respect to tree, they are advancing, and that too in one direction, that is east direction. So here, Somesh gave the answer as they are these persons who are traveling in the car, they are in motion. Here, the conversation between passenger and driver. If you observe the picture, here again the same thing. Tree, two persons are there, and car with the driver and the passenger. Now the direction is mentioned towards west. Now here the discussion between passenger and the driver. So now the driver is asking, what is the state of motion of a tree? Passenger, according to this driver, because they are moving in the east direction, he will give the answer towards west, because west is opposite to east direction. Now, driver, what is the state of both the persons beside the road? Now, the driver, they are also moving towards west, because they are these person along with the driver, they are moving in east direction. So, for these two people, it appears that they are moving or advancing in west direction. Now, driver is asking, what is the state of my motion to the passenger? Then the passenger will tell, you are at rest. Now, driver, what is the state of motion of a car? What is the state of motion of a car? Along you compare with a tree, it is advancing in east direction. So they are in motion. With compared to these two persons also, the car is in advancement. So car is in moving towards east direction. In the above examples or the above discussions between Somesh and Srinu and the driver and the passenger, it is clear that tree is at rest with respect to Somesh and Srinu, and this car is in motion with respect to Somesh and Srinu. Whereas the car is in motion with respect to tree and it is moving due west with respect to the passenger. So motion or rest of an object depends upon the observer. Motion or rest of an object depends upon the observer. Motion is a combined property of the observer and the body which is being observed. So, definition of motion is a body is said to be in motion when its position is changing continuously with time relative to the observer. So, any object can be taken as point of observation, that is motion.